Hey guys, today I'm going to make a legume. Here are the ingredients that I will be using to make the legume. Right here you can see everything. I'll be using parsley, green onion, chayote, tomatoes, eggplant, carrot, spinach, crab, and some meat. I have two different meat. I have the majority is beef, and I have just a tiny bit of pork just to add an additional flavor to the legume. Now I am adding seasoning. That seasoning I'm using, I made it myself. This is homemade. In a different video, I will show you exactly how I made that seasoning. Just want to make sure I marinate the meat very good. And you can also add a tiny bit of dry seasoning, a Maggi, if you have any. Okay. Okay, here I have the parsley, and I also add hot pepper, just one of it. It's just for the flavor. Just want to make sure it doesn't break, so the food will not have to be hot. Then now I put the meat in the pot. Just want to make sure the pepper stay on top or in between the meat and the vegetable, so that way it won't break. I add a little bit of water. Just make sure don't use too much water, because you want to make sure, like, when the vegetables are cooked, you don't have to drain the water. Now I'm adding the crabs. Make sure to put the meat in the bottom. That's what's gonna help the meat to get a different color, like a little brownish color. And I'm adding the eggplants. I cut them into pieces, and I also remove the first skin before cutting them. And now I'm adding the chayote. After I put the eggplant and the chayote, I add the spinach on top of them. I put some tomatoes in between. And now I'm adding the carrots. I cut the carrots into pieces that way. And now I'm adding some cabbage. I always make sure I put the cabbage on top. It will serve as a kind of cover to the vegetable and everything that is in the bottom. Now I finished adding everything. Now I'm using parchment paper to cover everything. I want to make sure I don't leave no holes. That way the steam will stay in between the paper, because the steam is what's gonna cook the vegetables that are on top. I did not use that much water, so that's the reason I use the paper. And now the vegetables and everything are cooking. Just want to make sure I put another lid on top of it, and everything is ready. Let's see. Now I have to remove the vegetables, put them in a different container. And now I'm removing the crabs. I put the crabs in a something different also, separate. Now I have all the vegetables together. Want to make sure I mash the vegetable very good. As you can see, I make sure to mix up all the vegetables together. I use the same pot that I boiled the vegetable. I clean it up and then I use it again with some oil, some tomato paste, and onion. Now I will put the meat back in that same pot. The tomato paste will give it a little bit of color, make the legume look very beautiful. I'm turning the meat. Make sure the onion and everything get into the meat. And now I am adding the crabs. And now I'm putting the vegetable. When I was adding the vegetable into the pot, it seems like it was going to be too much, but after it cooked, it becomes less. I add a little bit of lemon juice to increase the flavor. And now the legume is cooked. I'm going to be eating that with some du riz collé à pois rouge. This is rice and red beans. In a different video, I will show you exactly how I make that rice. That's the reason you have to subscribe and like the video if you like it. Oh, forget to tell you, after you subscribe, make sure to click the bell to receive all my notifications.